Hello, friends. We're live again. We've actually gone live now 101 nights. We originally were going to go live 100 nights in a row and reevaluate, but we just decided to keep blowing right on through and keep going because this Dogecoin thing is just crazy. Did you see where it's going? If you're live with me right now at 32, earlier this evening, and then now jumped up to 37 and back down now to 36, but it's just crazy. I, intended on talking about basically how to, receive Bitcoin or Dogecoin or Ethereum, and then, how to be able to use that at everyday purchases, that type of thing. And we are going to get to that. But my goodness, I was watching a show with my wife. We actually try to spend some time together, and I was not watching what was going on in the stock market. And I looked at Robinhood, which is where I have all of my Dogecoin right now, and saw that it was actually, 36 cents, approaching 37. And I was like, this is crazy. So let me know if you're watching this right now live, or if you're watching the replay. It is 11:53 p.m. on Friday, April 30th. So, one day away from May 1st. And actually yesterday when I was doing my live stream, I had my days mixed up, and I thought that Elon Musk was going to be doing his Saturday Night Live tomorrow, which is just May 1st instead of May 8th. So if you're watching again tonight live, or if you're watching the replay and you watched last night's episode, yes, I was confused about what day it was, and I was just thinking, because of my excitement, I think that that Elon was going to be going on, tomorrow night now, but it's actually not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. And I knew that at one point during the day, but I just kind of got, I think, excited about the possibility. But in the absence right now of comments about how crazy Dogecoin is going right now, it's back in the 36 area, but it hit as high as 3759, I think. Let me switch over for a minute, actually, and we can look at the chart, and then I'll get into some other things. But as you can see right now, it's 3675 and change, but it had gotten all the way up to 3755, according to Webull. What I've got here in front of me is the Webull desktop app. And wow, pretty crazy, because again, back at 205, or we'll go back even another hour here. I've got the 1 hour chart up at 205, in the afternoon. The high was at 32, and then it's gone up to 37.5. So that's a pretty incredible jump when you can take into consideration, by and large, since the 28th, which is, just 2 days ago. Actually, we can go back as far as, the 28th, mostly flat, right? I mean, in the 31, 32 area, 30s. And then prior to that, of course, we had this kind of level jump up, but then we go back and we talked about this. It was in the 26, 27, 28 sideways range for a number of days as well. So anyway, it's pretty exciting. I would say that, what is more exciting than that? So pretty cool. So what I want to do now is one of the things that I typically do. And before I get into that, I do want to say, Moses Marino, hey, my friend, congrats on number 100. Thank you so much. I never would have thought that after 100 that I would just say, hey, I'm going to continue going, but I did. I'm going to keep going, keep that streak going as long as I can. So it is exciting right now, exciting times with Doge. Who knows where it's going to go, and who knows what sparked it. I honestly have been out of touch, if you will, for the last couple of hours. So I actually don't have any clue if someone tweeted something, if some large company has accepted or has, made an announcement. I have no idea. It could be the whales. Honestly, it could be them deciding that they want to take it up a notch. I think the whales have, so far, for at least a number of days, except for a brief amount of time when Elon, tweeted Doge's father, it just so happens that the whales were mostly dormant based upon what I was able to see. But look at this. I'm going to show actually the kind of the, I guess what we'd call the rankings, and I'm going to show it in a couple of different ways. So if we look at this first by market cap, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that, actually I'm going to back up one here. Let's go back to just the top level here. And if we look at the top by market cap, we've got Bitcoin, of course, at $1 trillion. It's always at the top. Actually, there when it was kind of having some difficulties, it was in the 900 million area, but the last several days it's been back up to $1 trillion, which is crazy. Ethereum, look at the run that Ethereum has had. It was down, I think, in the 2,200 range, but way below its previous high. Now it has gone, I think, almost $200 above its previous high. It reached another all-time high this week, so it's reached 2 or 3 all-time highs. Bitcoin is actually recovering quite well now when you think about it. One of the things that might have happened, I believe that futures, the future contracts and all that expired today, so that may have something to do with what's going on. But then we look at Bitcoin or Binance Coin, of course, XRP, Tether. So Dogecoin is in the number 6 spot. That's where it was yesterday. But look at what we've got with regards to a 16% 24-hour increase. Amazing. 7-day, 48%. 47 billion in market cap, which is incredible when you consider the fact that it had been in the 30 billion for a number of days, kind of during its during a downtime. Now, what I don't understand here, I do see Doge. Here's what's kind of interesting though. Volume is only 24. I'm sorry, 6 what is that? 6 billion. Yeah, 6 billion in volume today. So that's actually quite a bit less than it has been in other days. It's a little bit more than it has been in some other days, but really interesting. I'm going to go ahead and actually drill down on Dogecoin here, and let's look at some of the historical data, because this helps us a little bit evaluate what it's done over the last couple of days. So this, shows April 30th, and it just literally turned May 1st here in Texas, Central Standard Time. So we're now May 1st, and I'm, thinking that maybe Dogecoin's going to settle in to the 36 cent area. It may get back up into 37 again. I'm curious how many of you, that had it at some lower average cost. Did you take some profit so you could get more? Be curious to know your strategy. But on the 30th, yesterday, now basically, at least from a 24-hour period, we had a low of 30, a high of 33, and it opened at 30 cents, closed at 33. And here's the big story as far as I'm concerned: a volume of only 5 billion. Now I say only because look at just 2 days prior to that, 14 billion. Now this was the day, I believe, if I have it right, that Elon Musk tweeted that Doge father, something has to be happening. I don't know what it is, but we're actually going to pull up Twitter here in just a minute and see. But if you guys have heard some news or whatever, then that'd be great to share it. But we are going to get into our topic as well. My hope is that these live streams will not only be relevant for the day, I guess, that's going on, but also have some information that people can use more generally that is relevant beyond just that day. So very interesting very exciting, honestly, as far as what's going on today. So, yeah, let's get to some of the comments. Hey, Mad Dog, good morning. Yeah, I just turned over to May 1st. Pretty exciting given what I've been, again, out of it, if you will, not really looking at the internet or anything for the last several hours. And I just looked down at my phone on Robinhood, and I don't know how it happened, timed it just right, not even intentionally, and basically captured, in my mind at least, and visually on my phone, what now appears to be, the highest of the day. I mean, it's technically, I guess, a new day from a 24-hour period. So what a really exciting way to end April 30th and move on into May. So think it's going to creep down to 34, 35, maybe 33 tonight. You might be exactly right. I'm thinking something maybe similar. Don't even know why. Again, I don't know what caused that surge. But what I am going to do, if you guys will indulge me, I'm going to pull up Twitter here. And that's kind of my go-to first, because there's so many sources of information. But let's go here to the latest, and I'll show you, and we can just watch it together. And I'm always actually excited, encouraged, and just it's amazing the creativity, the time that people put into a lot of these posts, just the memes and all the things. And look at this right here, this Dogecoin rise. I've got to get in contact with the person that does this stuff. They do some really cool things. I love it. And actually this depicts something that I think is quite honestly very important and really kind of leads into what I want to talk about at some point tonight before we end the stream. And that is, basically using Dogecoin as an alternative to your local currency. I'm not suggesting that your local currency go away. I am suggesting that you now more than ever have the flexibility. We're going to talk about Bitpay a little bit because it's what I use now. I got it set up just the other day, and so I'm not going to give you a sales pitch. Just going to share with you my experience so far and what I like about it. But I think this is a really good meme about what I think is a very real possibility. And this is exactly what I think one of the most important things, honestly, that Mark Cuban has contributed to this whole thing. And that is to say that not only is Dogecoin fun to spend, it makes sense to spend it as opposed to, honestly, Bitcoin, even Ethereum for that matter, for everyday purchases in my mind. And I just read today, I did not know this. I knew that Dogecoin was very inexpensive transaction cost wise to use, but I really didn't know the number, but it's about 5 cents per transaction. And think about why more and more merchants like the Mavericks, like the Houston Rockets, like these luxury car dealerships, hotel chains, maybe Amazon eventually, who knows. One of the reasons that I would see them wanting to go to it is their transaction cost compared to traditional American Express, Visa, MasterCard, your traditional credit card methods. It's much cheaper and decentralized, and there's a lot that's attractive to a lot of people. So let's see what we've got going here. Breaking news. Don't miss your opportunity. Sign up. Okay, Doge trading. Get free. Okay, so that's someone's link for Robinhood. Super cool. I'm going to like that as well. Oh, who be selling their Dogecoin? Now this is funny, actually. Maybe people are saying this in jest. I have a little bit different. If they're serious about this, I have a little bit different opinion and thought and approach, and it wouldn't be surprising to anyone that's become a regular on this stream. At least I'm honestly not mad at anyone that decides to sell. I believe in I believe in the individual. I know that as a community, obviously, it's been very helpful for people to come together and all of that. But I think that there's enough people in this community that want to hold it and forever, that you're going to be taken care of if that's your approach. And for those that want to sell, either they want to take the profit and run, take the profit and run. Just don't cry later is all I would say. If you want to get back in, and the only way to get back in is maybe 50 cents higher per coin than you were already in. So you got to roll with the punches, if you will, if you're going to sell at this point in time. But I'll give you a perfect example. You could have sold, I'm not saying you should have, none of that, but you could have sold literally 5 minutes ago at 37.55. And again, if we do dip down to 34, 33, 32, you could have got back in and you could have taken that profit, and why not? And then buy more Dogecoin with it. So that's a okay approach. And you don't need anyone to tell you you should hold or to buy. You do you. But let's talk about the implications of holding. Let's talk about the implications of selling. Let's talk about strategy. All of that's perfectly fine. So let's see. I'm still not seeing anything that's really talking about what. Okay, let's see. I feel bad for the people who panicked and sold Dogecoin when it dipped below 26. Yep. Told y'all to hold. Well, okay. Again, this is interesting. This is more of a analysis of the dynamics that are out there. It's not a criticism by any means, but here's the question I would, pose back and, pose back to this person posting. I feel bad as well. When you look at it right now, it's 36, so it's 10 cents higher. I feel bad that they sold at 26. For one, if they were losing money. Now, if their average cost was 15 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents, half a penny, if they were ready to take some profits, I don't feel bad for them at all. I think they got big boy pants, as they say, and they can live with that. Now, if they sold at 26, but they bought at 35, let's say, or whatever, then I feel, worse for them because they lost money. And in that case, I would say that it would obviously have been better if they had held, but some people are honestly just not cut out for this kind of thing. It's just too nerve-wracking. Or what also possibly happened in many cases, and I've talked about this a couple of different nights, is, unfortunately, some people may have put some money in there that they really didn't have, that they needed for, regular, everyday kind of living things, rent, mortgage, car payment, insurance payment, all those kinds of things. And I really feel bad for those people that finally had to say, I got to get my money back, and maybe had to sell at a loss. So I feel super bad for those. But let's go back here now to see what kind of comments we might have. We've got a lot of people here now commenting. So had a great day, then fell to crap. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Bought a coin and got some dips. Yep. Hey, it happens. They show the balance from CoinMarket, but sell from CoinGecko price at 1/3 value. Huh. That's really weird. That's really weird. I've actually also seen times where, for example, this is you're giving me a little bit different example, but I've certainly seen times where Webull, for example, Dogecoin is at a different price than it is on Robinhood, and it's different on Voyager. I now have Webull, Voyager, and Robinhood, and I will say real quick while we're just talking through things, and we're eventually going to get to the main topic, but hang with us here. I think this is more exciting, and I love interacting, obviously, with my regulars, so we'll do that for now. But I honestly like Voyager because I can get literally all of the coins that I'm interested in right now. Now, my appetite and my interest may at some point extend beyond what Voyager allows me to buy. But here's the good thing about Voyager, and you can argue that they built in some transaction costs. Robinhood has as well. I'm sure Webull has as well. But it at least feels good to say that you're getting these trades for free. And I can almost guarantee you that they're cheaper than Coinbase and Kraken and Binance probably, and all of those. All those are great platforms, but depending on your goals and what you're looking to do, I'm happy with Robinhood and Webull and Voyager, but with Voyager I can get Bitcoin and I can buy fractional coins. I can get Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, what's the new one? It's escaping me right now. And VeChain, VET, and a number of others. So I'm really liking Voyager because I can have all of those on one platform. Still using Robinhood. Have all my Dogecoin on Robinhood at this point in time, but we'll see where that goes in the future. If I could actually use Binance in Texas where I live, I would at least have an account and might find myself buying some of my pairs there. No more mask, no more local currency. I mean, it's getting crazy, right? It's really getting crazy, honestly, with regards to who is starting to allow you to basically buy goods and services, products with Dogecoin. And the cool thing, and like I said, we'll eventually get to it, but Bitpay is really disrupting. There are others that do it as well, but I would say that Bitpay, and they've been around for a while, but they're really disrupting this whole thing, because they're facilitating the ability to do this. And here's the thing: not every merchant is taking quote unquote Dogecoin, but the way Bitpay works is every cryptocurrency that they support is turned on, quote unquote, for any merchant that signs up with Bitpay. So the merchant gets to decide what they want to carry, if you will, or what they want to accept. But I'm gonna switch to the screen here so you can see it. And I apologize that it's maybe kind of small. But what currencies can I use to pay a Bitpay invoice, or what you can load on the credit card as well? It's all the same. So basically, it's easier to say, what do they support? They support Bitcoin, which, again, I'll be honest with you, I struggle with the thought or the idea of using Bitcoin for everyday goods and services. I simply would not do it. Maybe if I was a millionaire, billionaire, I might, just because it would be cool, but I would keep around. If I was a billionaire, millionaire, I would have enough Dogecoin to use that if I'm going to use crypto to buy everyday goods and services, I would use Dogecoin because it's perfect for that. But they will allow you to, you as a customer, basically load a credit card, for example. And this is what we'll get to in a minute. With Bitpay, you can have an account, basically a wallet with all of these different coins in there. And then you can load at any point in time onto a credit card an amount of that crypto. And that's when the tax event happens, right? And so at that point, now you're paying, let's say you're going to go shopping for a day and you're going to be spending some money. Load some Dogecoin, or use Dogecoin, if you will, to basically transfer that to cash onto the card. Do your spending so it becomes more like a debit card in that way. And then you have only one tax event, right? It's that one time when you transfer it, instead of if you were actually using Dogecoin to buy the Mavericks ticket that day, using Dogecoin to take the taxi that day, using Dogecoin to pay for the train that you got on. All that, as cool as that sounds, honestly, I think this is potentially a better option. You have a debit card that you can load. It's really quick because you have the app as well, and the app, quote unquote, or the wallet, if you will, has all of your coins on there. You can transfer just what you need, and at any point in time during the day you can transfer more. That's the approach I believe that I would take. Everybody's going to think about it a little bit different. And then also there are quote unquote stable coins. There's like 4 different ones that are considered USD, US dollar stable coins. So you got the GUSD, USDC, which that's the one that I have on Voyager, where I'm earning 9%. I don't think that you can earn interest on Bitpay. That's the one thing that I think is that's not quite as good as some of the others. And what is one of the other ones? I'll have to show that to you in a minute. It just left my mind. It is in the description though. I have a link to it, but let me look real quick because it is escaping me and it's bothering me. You know how that can be, right? BlockFi, sorry. So BlockFi is also something I have because I basically with BlockFi, I took some money out of my savings account or checking account, put it into a BlockFi account, and the link's in the description if you want to check it out. And I'm now on $100. I just wanted to try it out. I'm earning 10% interest on $100 at this point in time. I have every intention of loading more into that account to earn interest. And again, with a wallet, you can transfer some of your coin that's earning interest from from BlockFi to BitPay, and then just do your shopping. But anyway, you got a lot of options. That's the whole point. So let's get back to the comments. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. Love the thumbnail. Hey, thanks. That's I do my best if I have enough time to work on thumbnails. I don't get to work on them as much as it's obvious that some people do. So I'm envious to a certain extent that some of the other creators out there have more time to do it. And so, thumbs up to them. And so, yeah, I try to put something out there if I can. I know that they make a difference, especially, with people that are just scrolling. So it's good. I wish Webull had fractional shares. Yeah. So they do have fractional coins from what I understand, but fractional shares, I wish they had that as well. I think as much as I like Webull's interface on the phone and on the computer, much better, honestly, than Robinhood. Some people probably like the simplicity of Robinhood. I like to at least have the option, so I like Webull's interface and all that, but I as well am a little bit bummed that they don't have fractional shares. I'm also not so happy with their buying power process, if you will. Robinhood's is much more liberal in the good sense. You put $1,000 in Robinhood, it's available immediately, even though the ACH transaction takes 3 to 5 business days. It's available immediately. On Webull, it's not available until it's actually settled. So you're talking 3 to 5 business days to bring money in. And to make matters worse, if you sell your stock or even some crypto on Webull, it can take up to 3 days for that to settle. And to buy crypto, that money that is available to you immediately on Robinhood is not available to you to use on Webull for 3 days. I honestly don't know how they're, for those that have used Robinhood and Webull, that's a hindrance for me. I'm not using Webull all that much to actually buy and sell at this point in time, because I like the fact that if I decide to buy some more, I can literally just do a direct deposit, if you will, into Robinhood and use it immediately that night. And if you're gold, which is $5 a month, may be worth it to you on Robinhood, that is, you can, it's much more. It's tiered, so I don't know exactly how much it is, but it's quite a bit more than $1,000. So yeah, I'm not, I have my issues with Webull, but nonetheless, Robinhood is the only place to buy Doge as a day trader. Yep, not enough volume for quick buy sells on other platforms. Well, yes and no. I mean, I say yes and no. Actually, here's the deal. It's interesting because, and I showed this last night, Binance actually has the largest volume for Dogecoin for an exchange that's listed. Now, Robinhood is not their own exchange, but they have to have someone that does it for them. So they use, it's kind of clouded in secrecy, quote unquote, but they do, say that they actually have some third parties that they use to basically do the market making, if you want to think of it that way. I just don't know who they are. I've seen people that have tried to guess who they are, but I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, I agree that Robinhood. I mean, with Robinhood, what I don't know about Robinhood, I know you can do a limit sell and a limit buy. I don't know if you can do a what they call a stop limit order. Where you can basically protect your sell or your buy and your sell. So I don't know if you can do that on Robinhood. I know you can do it on Webull and most other platforms. But maybe things will change over on. Here's the thing that I'm curious about. I'd love to hear your thoughts, comments on this. When Robinhood does finally release their wallet, or quote unquote the ability to deposit and withdraw, curious how many of you think that there'll be a large exit, at least for the Dogecoin folks. As much as there is a lot of quote unquote hate put out on Robinhood, I say this a lot, and I promise I don't get paid to say it, but Robinhood, you could send me a T-shirt or something. I'm kidding, but Mark Cuban actually said this. I believe he tweeted it. I think he was the one. No, he wasn't the one that tweeted it. It was the co-creator of Dogecoin himself. Basically said, "Hey, if Robinhood hadn't have made this Dogecoin basically available for people to buy, then we probably wouldn't be where we're at right now." And I agree. So for all the problems that Robinhood has had, for all of us Dogecoin enthusiasts, I think we probably owe them a debt of gratitude, even if you've moved on and start buying it on other platforms. So as I mentioned, though, Voyager, you can also buy Dogecoin on Voyager. And I just, I think I mentioned this last night, but also there is, I don't know that they're new, but there is an exchange called Dogecoin. And again, if you've heard of them, I would love to know. But I listened in on a Twitter Spaces, I don't know what you call it, room or whatever. It's like Clubhouse, audio only thing, 2 hours. I mean, they devoted 2 hours to basically engage with some of the quote Dogecoin influencers and, just regular folks, if you will, asking all the questions to it's Dogecoin, to Dogecoin. And they just recently, I guess, brought Dogecoin onto their platform. So you might want to check it out. They were giving away a bonus of some sort in Bitcoin. One of the, maybe it's the CEO or someone pretty high up in the company was on the call, and he was challenged basically to, hey, instead of giving away Bitcoin, why don't you also offer Dogecoin? And he said that he would do it. So I don't know. We'll see if they do. But let me pull up here for a minute, and then we're going to kind of get to talking about BitPay a little bit more and see where things go. Looking at the 1 hour, I'm going to change this to, let's say, a 5 minute, just to see kind of what's been going on. So we had this spike, right, at 2350. It's too late for me to do the time math on that, but what is that? 1150. Yeah, at 1150, we had that point where it got up to 3755. Again, actually it was not. It was 2345. I don't know what caused that spike. I'll be the first to admit, I don't know, because it caught me completely by surprise. And this would have been, for those that are doing it, this would have been an excellent time to obviously sell if you're one that wants to sell and maybe, get some more than what you had before at a lower price, that kind of thing. So, if this gets, who knows where this will go back down to, though. It could do just like it has for days at a time and settle in to some sideways, so it could stay 36 now for the next 4 days. If the whales want to keep it there, I think they could. So it'll be interesting. Now we've got basically, 7 days before Elon Musk goes on the Saturday Night Live and does what he's going to do, whatever that is. So, okay, so I want to go to Bitpay here for a minute. And actually, as much as I like their system, I don't like so much the fact that you can't actually find out a lot on the website. So you'll have to give them a few graces on that, because when you go here, you can see that you can get the Bitpay app or you can get the Bitpay card. Now the Bitpay card does actually have a cost to it unless you have a promo code. So I would say search for the promo code, or let's just put it in here and see if we can find one. Bitpay card promo code. And let's see what it is. Okay, yeah, so this is it. The one I keep seeing is 10 crypto. So you might want to, it's the same one I've seen used over and over again. And then you can get a free card. I've not looked into this, whether there's like a annual fee or those kind of things. So you also have to take that into consideration. I'm not 100% certain, but here's what I did. I mean, basically I got the app. I have I now have a QR code. So anyone could basically send me Dogecoin. If someone else is on Bitpay, I can send them Dogecoin, even if they're not on Bitpay. Obviously I could send them Dogecoin from Bitpay to their wallet. So it's pretty cool. And I'll actually show you just so you can see, that it's possible. I'll pull up my QR code. And if you're in the mood, if you will, and want to support the channel, you could obviously scan that, and that's my Bitpay QR code for Dogecoin. Of course, imagine my surprise when I did get a Dogecoin tip, and it was worth about $20 when I got it, and now I'll have to look it up again. It's probably worth about $20, $25 or so. So that's pretty cool when you can get a tip, or let's say get paid. Instead of having someone pay you in Venmo. If you have Bitpay, and one thing to do is since it's free, hey, tell them to get Bitpay, and then they could send you, if they loaded that up with USDC, they could still pay you, I believe, in Dogecoin. If that's what they wanted to do, they could get some Dogecoin, and then they could transfer it to you. So it's really cool. You can actually buy on the platform as well. I've not bought any yet, so I don't know if it's only market orders, if there are limit orders, that type of thing when it comes to buying and selling. That's something I'll have to come back and tell you guys another day. I'm also seeing that it's indicating that my internet is not at its best, so I apologize if I am kind of real fuzzy, if you will. So it's weird, because at night you would think it would actually be better. At 12:30 in the morning here, and my internet is slowing down. I am, if for no other reason, because of the inconsistency of my internet, I'm looking heavily at getting the internet service that Elon Musk has got out there. And if anyone has used it, I'd love to hear what your experience is with it. That'd be great. So let's, I do have a few things to kind of just go over that, that in some cases you may have already seen some of this, but I'm going to pull it up again. And I know some of my audience is different tonight. So let me change that. All right, we'll just leave it down there, and I'll scroll. So top NFL draft pick Trevor Lawrence puts signing bonus in crypto. Now I had searched and searched and searched because it wasn't clear to me whether it was all Bitcoin or Bitcoin and Ethereum or whatever. And there were pictures out there that in one picture only showed Bitcoin and Dogecoin. But I think it's in this article that it mentions yes and even Dogecoin. And if it's not this, yeah, there it is. So I'm gonna read it. So top NFL draft pick Trevor Lawrence put signing bonus in crypto, $22 million, all in crypto. As expected, former Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence was selected so the Jaguars picked him number one. What most of us didn't expect was that Tennessee Wonder Boy would basically put his crypto signing bonus into crypto. Lawrence is partnered with Blockfolio. I've not looked them up yet. I'm sure they're another interesting company. I mean, here again is a company that's facilitating, in this case, basically getting paid, if you will, not only in crypto, but including Dogecoin. So it says he invested his estimated $22 million in signing bonus in Bitcoin, Ether, and yes, Dogecoin. So I thought that was really cool. Super, super cool. And, there's a couple of other names that have obviously come before him that have, then I covered those last night, but there are a number of other NFL players, NBA players. I've not heard of any baseball players yet. There are soccer teams that are now offering that as a option. Sacramento Kings, from what I understand, has announced that they will. I don't know about Dogecoin, but they're going to be allowing not only their front office staff, that type of thing, but all the players can choose to get all or a portion of their salary in crypto. So Okung is his name, and I'm going to have to find it. I want to show you a few of his tweets because it is like almost all he talks about, honestly. He's one of the football players that took half of his salary and put it into Bitcoin mostly. I don't know if has Ethereum as well, but he mostly talks about Bitcoin. And so I've been retweeting some of his stuff. So if you're following me on Twitter, you've definitely seen it, or you may have seen it on your own, depending on what you're doing. But again, I do have a link in the description for Bitpay if you want to check that out. Newegg, you probably already have heard that Newegg is now also accepting Dogecoin, but it's not only Dogecoin. I'm sure it's Bitcoin. I'm sure it's Ethereum. But this is something that I think makes sense to buy with Dogecoin. Laptop, a computer of some sort, some type of electronics. I'd be curious, would you use it to buy your stuff on Amazon if they come out with that? So I know that I posted some of his. Here we go. Here's the tweet for the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento Kings can now choose to get their salaries paid in Bitcoin. More and more companies are putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet, and it's pretty stoked about all that. So here is Russell Okung. I believe he was a defensive tackle, or maybe it's an offensive tackle. But here he's tweeting, the only thing bad about Bitcoin is that every time I put money in, a month later, I regret not putting in more. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? So yeah, I just honestly love, I did not know who Russell Okung was. I'll have to admit, as I'm looking through his tweets, I'm like, okay, this guy is a lot like me, so I guess that will tell you guys something about me. It would seem, based upon everything that I'm reading, that he thinks a lot the same way that I would. So I've quoted him, if you will, in a number of his tweets that have nothing to do with crypto, but he's very, very active with advocating for Bitcoin, especially, and crypto, more generally speaking, I guess. This is fun. This is funny as well. Well, first of all, let me show you my response. So he says, if you own 0 Bitcoin, you're irresponsibly short. And my response to that is I agree, but let's add Dogecoin to the list. Here's another amazing example of just the creativity of those in the Dogecoin community. There's another one with Trevor Lawrence. This is another interesting, right? Teach your children that the establishment will always say inflation does not exist. Look at the price increases on these things. I'm not sure if you can see it, so I'll make it a little bit bigger. But lumber up 265%, crude up 210%, gasoline 182. I won't read all of these. Corn 84, copper 83. I think there's a lot of things to invest in the crypto space and in stocks where you don't have to worry or mess with, things like copper and precious metals, that kind of thing. But copper is used extensively in computers and a lot of these mining, crypto mining equipment, all that. So if you're looking for a heavy or a metal to get into, you might want to look at copper. Silver 65%, sugar 59%. So it's just crazy. It's crazy. Show through a few other ones here. I do want to highlight Shop Doge again. We had him on, TJ. We had him on our show. I think it's a couple of days ago now. But go follow him on Twitter, and then go to his website, which is shopdoge.xyz, and it fits with the theme that we're talking about tonight as well, about basically getting set up to where you can basically receive and then use or spend, if you will, Dogecoin and other crypto. He lists a bunch of a number of the merchants that are out there that are now allowing you to pay them with Bitcoin. And again, the number is growing. Bitpay does not disclose exactly all of their merchants that are using the service Bitpay, but it is a large number of them. BlockFi is the other one I was telling you about. I'm not going to really talk about BlockFi tonight, but definitely go check them out. Meet Kevin is someone you've probably heard of. And, he's a pretty big YouTuber, and he's got a video out there talking about how to basically earn, I think it's $6,600 or $6,700 a month in passive income. Now, the thing you have to know, that sounds amazing, and it is, but that's putting basically $1 million into a BlockFi account. Now, you don't have to go, you don't have to go to that level. Maybe you don't have that much. Maybe you do, and you don't want to put it all in there. But you obviously you can choose how much you put in there. But I think if nothing else, and it's an experiment for him, because he's got at least $9 million from what I can tell that he's got invested in, a combination of the stock market and in crypto. So go check out BlockFi. I think it's something you'll want to look into as well. I don't know. I'm curious how many people you're following on Twitter that are that are pushing the Dogecoin narrative out there. I'm following quite a few of them myself. All right. Well, let's go back then to Twitter here for a minute. We will keep going. Bitpay again. Thought this was a good one as well. Sean is an incredible football player, financial mind, and leader. I'm humbled and honored that Strike is a part of his history, of his story and journey. So Sean Culkin is the Kansas City Chiefs player, and so he put he says, I fully believe in Bitcoin, so he's getting his paycheck all in Bitcoin. Now, want to make sure it's clear here that the Kansas City Chiefs, they're not facilitating that. He's having to go and use this outside service where Sacramento Kings and MicroStrategy and others, again, they're putting cryptocurrencies, mostly Bitcoin in these cases, on their balance sheet and then using that to pay. Now, here's what that means. As more and more companies do that, they're not going to want to have to pay $60,000 for a Bitcoin and 70 and 80 and 90 and 100,000 and at some point $1 million possibly for it. So they're going to load up. So there's still quite a bit of Bitcoin being mined, if you will, but I think that actually is a hint to us as individual investors. I can guarantee you, don't have any Bitcoin right now. I had some fractional coins. I am going to be getting into Bitcoin. I should have bought when it was down to 42,000, and I didn't. I wasn't prepared mentally. I just wasn't prepared in a number of ways to do that. Maybe I had not decided yet that was a strategy I wanted to go for. But I am definitely, without a doubt, going to be having a position in Bitcoin, sizable if I can, and Ethereum, always Dogecoin, always. Cardano, I don't own yet, but I will. VeChain, I have some, and it's done really well. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to pull that up here in just a minute. Even though we're super, super big fans, obviously, of Dogecoin, I don't think you can expect that this channel will ever be exclusively Dogecoin, because I believe that not only do I want to be diversified within crypto, I want to also bring in a number of equities, and you want to be diversified there as well. So I'm only going to kind of exhibit who I really am, and that's not exclusively Dogecoin, as much as I am super pumped about it and have a pretty good amount of it in my portfolio and want more for that matter. So let's go to the chart here for a minute, because I want to show a couple other things. This Dogecoin is kind of leveled out, or is now going flat or sideways, whichever term you want to use. So it could be that it's going to stay here at 36 for a while. We'll see. Bitcoin again has made a pretty nice recovery. It's gotten up to 58, and then it has by and large also kind of leveled off with a few dips here and there. I've also realized that, if you've got enough money, Bitcoin may even be something that you might consider day trading. If you've, got the time to watch it and use some strategies, some buying and selling strategies with the trading tools at your disposal. Because look at some of these, swings. Today's high 58, today's lows 57. So there's some money to be had there if you've got enough money to have it in. Of course, to get those, to get $2,000 or $3,000, you'd have to have enough money to be buying into 4 or 5 or 6 Bitcoin at a time. And there are probably obviously other stocks that you can day trade with less money at stake. Ethereum again has just done crazy, incredible. Look at this, back 2741 on 430. That's still not, we have to go back quite a while to see where it took the plunge for a little bit of time. Let's find it here. It was around here, I think. And then it's been, basically back up on a ride to a new high here. Completely amazing. Another one that I wish that I had kept. Honestly, I had some Ethereum. I sold it to get into some other things, but I think those other things are going to do good. That is the thing that I think is one of the toughest once you get into this. Number one, it can be emotional with regards to something that you just actually like. and nothing wrong with that, but that can actually inform your decisions, which may or may not always turn out to be the best decisions to make. So you'll have to decide whether you want to allow emotion to drive some of your decisions with regards to this, or if it's going to be more just, hey, do this, do that, depending on where something is. So you get to decide for you. But VeChain or VET, I got in at about 17, I believe, and now it's up in the 20s. So that's been good for me. I only wish that, like a lot of things, just like Okung was saying about Bitcoin, at a much smaller scale, I just wish that I had bought obviously more of VeChain. I'm not going to cover all of what VeChain is, but I'll look it up. They're basically a supply chain project, dealing with track and trace and all things supply chain. And I promise you that supply chain is key. I mean, the reason that all kinds of companies, especially EV companies, are struggling to a certain extent is because of the shortage of chips and all those things. And a lot of that is a supply chain problem. And obviously when COVID hit, all kinds of supply chains, and that's what I actually do for a living, all kinds of companies realized that their supply chains were not designed the way that they needed to be to be able to be resilient, to be flexible, to be adaptive during something like a pandemic. And many companies are spending tons and tons of money to fix that. And that's also why Palantir, among the many things they do, they're basically also into supply chain type things and government contracts and all of that. So Palantir is also a stock in this particular case that I feel is going to be a good investment. They're at about half of their 52-week high. So I think you want to look at that. NEO was as high as $40. Well, actually, it's been as high as 41. I got into this at 36. They announced their earnings just a few days ago. Very, very positive. I think to anyone looking at it that's maybe doesn't have an analyst eye. So I guess analysts and others, institutional investors and others may have wanted to even see more, but they had a very promising outlook. So I'm into, I have a position in NEO and will add more when I can. Tesla would have been an amazing buy just earlier in the week. Previous close, 677. It actually was as low as 664, so it had a pretty good rally. That would have been a good one to be day trading today as well. If you caught it low, right? Buy low, sell high, and then wait for another dip would have been a really good one. I can see where day trading could be addictive for one. So, for me personally, I think it would be fun, and which I don't for the most part day trade because I don't have the time to have a regular job, but I would not day trade for a living. I would be a long-term investor for the most part, and that's really the difference between an investor and a trader. Nothing wrong with either, but a hybrid approach is what I would do. I'm an investor primarily, but adding some day trading would actually be fun, and I believe you can make money in it. You probably have to, if you're day trading though, you have to, if you want to succeed at it, you have to be less emotional about it and more programmatic, and decide your in and out points and just go with it and don't look back. That's my opinion, at least. ARKK, which is a ETF, I think is also something that is a good buy right now. Kathy Wood runs ARK, and from everything I can tell, she's seen to be a genius in essence, able to pick stocks well. This particular ETF, ARKK, is everything that this particular ETF is invested in is what they would consider disruptive technology, innovative, that type of thing. So yeah, I also just started putting into my wish list, at least so I could kind of track it. Teladoc Health. I hear a lot of good things about it. I don't have much more to say about it right now, but it is one that I'm beginning to look at. It is another one that is underperforming, at least compared to its 52-week high. So that's also something from a stock perspective that you may want to look into. So let's get back to the comments. And we're gonna cut this one way shorter than we've been doing, at least for weeks now. Many of our live streams have been 2.5 hours long, some of them 3 hours long. We had one even as long as 5.5 hours long. I think that the excitement, and watch me shut down the stream and watch it just go crazy again, but the excitement from a stock perspective, from a Dogecoin perspective, and the pricing was about an hour ago, honestly, a little bit, actually more than an hour ago. It hit at a high 37.55, and it's now retreated to 36. So that was pretty exciting because I'd been watching some TV with my wife. I do watch a little bit of TV. We have a couple of shows that we watch. Other than that, I'm either working or spending time with the kids, or trying to stay up on Dogecoin, other cryptocurrencies. I have a wish list of those that I really follow, semi-extensively. Is you can count them on two hands. There's a lot of really, really good stuff out there, but I'm being selective on what I focus on because there's only so much time in a day. I recommend that you do something similar to that, but you do you. This is not advice. It's not financial advice. I just want to be able to give you some thoughts, share with you my approach, and I'm sure that in some cases it will match up with what you're trying to do. Now, again, tonight was episode 101. We had set out to do at least 100 nights in a row. I said the other day that I thought we would probably just blow right through. And what I mean by blow right through is we're going to continue going. The last thing that I will say, I talked about this last night. I want to give a few. We're gonna wrap this giveaway up pretty soon. Just want to give a few of you that maybe have not signed up, if you will, for the giveaway. I'm giving away, this is a Flex watch. I've got a white one here, also got a black one. I don't have it in front of me right now. It's almost exactly the same, but it's black with, I think, gold letters and all that. Going to be giving that away here soon. So just go to strammel.com/flex. So you pull up the overlay here real quick and take away this QR code so that you can see how I spell my name. So Trammel. So it's not strammel.info, but it's strammel.com/flex. It is my email list, ConvertKit, but I've got a specific landing page for that so that I'll know that you guys came in because you wanted the free watch. I promise I won't be spamming you, but you will get emails every once in a while. So you're more than welcome to unsubscribe, but I think you'll find that it'll be some things that you'll want to hear about. Other special offers, announcements at times that I'm going live. I don't actually do that very often yet, but as I get more people on that list, I'm sure that I will. And this won't be the last time that we're doing giveaways. We are starting to get some inquiries from brands and other, companies, if you will, with products and things like that. So, hopefully that means that we'll be able to give away some things, be able to offer some discount codes, all those kind of things to bring more value to you. And so I hope that that's at least one reason you come back. I hope the main reason you come back is because you're getting value from, what I have to share. That's my goal, is to bring value. And that's where we'll leave it. I will also say, I would recommend that you look into NTFs or NFTs. I'm sorry, non-fungible tokens. I think that's a really interesting aspect to the blockchain. And most of those, if not all of those, right now, people are paying for them with ETH or Ethereum. So it's really interesting. I will just say, can't wait to see tomorrow what happens with Dogecoin, or overnight what happens. And we're going to call it a night for now, but we will see you in the next video. Until then, have a good one. Bye.